you get everything like you want it.
Well, greetings, Sigma race fans. It's USA Trucks Eastern Division coming at you from Chicagoland here today. And you're all in tune for the Nuclear 162, 108 laps around this 1.5 mile cookie cutter racetrack. And surprise there, we've got David Bird on pole position. Don't often see him on the front row, and he's starting right there in first today alongside the 10 of Alex Sanvitale. Then behind that, you've got Tim Cording and Alan Malcolm, Chelsea Carter and Eli the Wolf, Borat Sagdiev and Chaz Chadwick, Ralph Oberstadt alongside Cannon Gage. Your current points leader, James Gunner, starting alongside Mitchell Carter. Then you got Brandon Butler and Sebastian Galloway Jr., Jeffrey Gerald and Chris Jeremio. Ryan White and new to the truck series here, Gabe McDuffie in his series debut within the ARCA side of things. He ended up debuting in third, very first ever race. So starting mid-pack here today alongside Ryan White, Gannon Bird and Jakov Rosovich, Bradley Ream and Ace Vaden, Al Bunch and Jack Ross, Skylar Taylor and Wyatt Wilkinson, Chase Kovacic and Nate Newman, Andrew Moger and Andre Stefan, Drew Clue and John Brinker, Jamie Horseman, Craig Bush, Kyle Ottawa, Johnny Blaney, Craig Popgris, Chris Hergeson, and Alan Chavot with Ryan Little on the tail end of the field there. David Bird himself is actually second in the points right now, tied with Alan Malcolm. As mentioned, James Gunner is currently your points leader, and he only has one win on the season. It was actually last race out at Watkins Glen where he ended up victorious and was good enough to bounce him up to first in the points. The rest of our winners, Alan Malcolm at 3 and Alex Sanvitale with 1. Along with Andrew Moger at 1. It's been a season of inconsistency for those drivers listed, and it's been huge getting to see David Bird rolling around in consistent finishes this year. He has had a worst finish of 16th, but that was followed up by a 4th, a 12th, and a 9th just last race at Watkins Glen. Tim Cording right there behind him has had some tough breaks this season in the USA Trucks. He has shown the speed and the ability to get a win, but has had mechanical failures or wrecks not of his doing take him out of contention. And with that, it's really kind of put him behind the 8 ball this year. One of our top stars in the USA Trucks. We've seen him fight for the championship almost every year. And he has pretty much been wreckers. Running in second. Not trying to jinx anyone here today. I'm just reading out the facts. Giving the cold, hard facts that sometimes isn't as pretty. We still have only seen 2 Chevy wins in the USA Trucks over the span of 3 years. So since we brought the truck series to light in 2022, there's only been 2 Chevy wins, and you can count those on 2 different drivers between Billy Lovejoy earlier this year and John Hagan back in 2023. And the reason I mention that is you look at who's running 1-2 right now. It's a pair of Chevys. David Bird leading the way with Tim Cording right behind him. They could try to start turning the tides for the Chevy flagship teams out there and get them a little bit more prominence here in the USA Trucks. Tim Cording making a move on the inside there. David Bird's going to try to hold him off on the outside. As these two Chevys fight for the lead, you've got the Trevor Ventures teammates right behind, and even Borat Sagdiev joining into the top 5 now. Fastest lap so far has been the 9 of Alan Malcolm, but look out, here comes Borat. Tim Cording alongside David Bird there trying to take the lead away here on lap 6. Alan Malcolm looks to maybe try and make it 3 wide here. He's got the most wins on the season, but that consistency has been a little bit harder to find. He's been the example of checkers or wreckers with 3 wins on the season, a second place on one occasion where he didn't win, but then a 35th and a 25th where he was both knocked out of the race in a wreck. So, Alan Malcolm, it's amazing that his 3 wins are not enough to earn him the points lead. But the 32 of James Gunner has just been a little bit more consistent. Even the 96 of David Bird has been more consistent than the number 9. Tim Cording in the lead now. We've got about 8 trucks now within range of the lead. Alan Malcolm's trying to get around David Bird there, but Bird's going to fight back on the outside. After this race here today, it's going to mark pretty close to halfway through the regular season here on the USA Truck side of things. If you're new to the USA Trucks, the East and the West Coast, they each have 15 races apiece. And as it sounds, they do race on the East Coast for the East side and the West Coast for the West side. So schedule's very unique to each division. And after the 15 races from each side is complete, we'll bring the 10 best from the East, the 10 best from the West, for a overall championship at the end of the year. So we do give out a regular season champion, and that's in a way to wait it out, to kind of add the value to that championship. It's more like a half championship. You did earn the regular season championship, which is a big deal. But how do you stack up against the folks on the other side of the ladder? And that's where that overall championship gets very fascinating at the end of the year. You do lock your way in with a win, so it is win and you're in to the W West East chase for the championship. And so with that, 15 races, you should have on some years 10 different winners. If by chance we don't get 10 different winners, we get, say, 6 different winners, it'll go back to points. So whoever's highest in points, not with a win, earns their way in. Tim Cording held the lead there for a while. It looks like Alan Malcolm wants to take it away. Now into 4th, you got Borat, and he's getting alongside David Bird there for 3rd. Sagdiev making it interesting up here with the leaders. You got 2 Chevys, 2 Toyotas, and a Volkswagen Amarok in the top 5 there. Also got a Dodge joining the party, Then the 23 of Brandon Butler the second in a Chevy, along with Chaz Chadwick. So things starting to look a little bit more reminiscent to our 2022-2023 seasons, where you get to see Chaz Chadwick and Tim Cording up front duking it out for the win. Kind of a throwback race if you want to kind of label it here today. Pretty neat. But even with the throwback, you still got some newbies here in the field that you don't often see fighting for the win. And that's the overall joy of this USA Truck Series, getting to see wild and crazy things that that always give you kind of a plot twist. And here today, there's a lot of opportunities for a plot twist. Trevor Ventures has definitely been a team doing their homework every season here in the Truck Series. They've got it figured out like Kyle Busch did when he brought his own team into the Truck Series in real life. And, well, with the 10 truck winning the championship last year, that gave Jordan Walker the well-needed decision to move up into Cup full-time, and kind of the support and the funding to get there full-time. And they ended up seeing how Alex Sanvitale did at the end of the season last year and gave him a ticket to ride. So your new number 10 truck, great driver, kind of the equivalent of Martin Truex Jr. to Chase Briscoe in the number 19 car. That's what we had here with Jordan Walker to Alex Sanvitale. Tim Cording's got back up to third here. We're going to see one round of pit stops most certainly here today. Sanvitale trying to make a move on his teammate for the lead. So they get side by side here. And Borat's right back in the mix again. This is definitely one of the reasons why I love returning to Chicagoland in the Sigma Series. You always get some great racing, side-by-side action, and passes for the lead. Another thing that has become synonymous with this particular racetrack has been fuel mileage. And so hopefully we don't see it in the trucks here today, but there's always that chance that the fuel mileage numbers don't quite line up. It is a little bit longer than a normal 1.5 mile race. With the racetrack, we're running 162 miles. Prior to that, Homestead had 157. We saw 161 at Nashville. But Nashville, we've also had that fuel mileage number problem. So Chicagoland with one extra mile on the docket. We might see fuel mileage actually factor in here today. And for us, the best way to gauge that will be seeing when they make their one pit stop. If it's just shy of halfway at about lap 55 or whatever, if they can't get to lap 55, then we might be worried for the fuel numbers to line up here today. Let's do a quick Sigma through the field as things have kind of settled up here for a moment. And before I do that, let's keep it on the front actually, as Alex Sanvitale might get the lead here. Tim Cording was looking quite racy there as well. Borat's on the attack. Alex Sanvitale still side by side with his teammate there. Alan Malcolm has the fastest lap up to this point. Borat right there behind might be able to give that 10 a push to the lead. There you go. Yeah, wow, they are racing really good up front here. This has allowed the rest of the field to get caught back up on their back bumpers. I really wanted to do a through the field. Borat looking to try and take second now. Chaz Chadwick on the move as well. Haven't seen this kind of strength out of the 18 in quite some time. LFG Motorsports Honda Ridgeline. Well, Alex Sanvitale gets out to a demanding lead for now, and we'll do the Sigma through the field. As you've got Alan Malcolm in second, Borat Sagdiev in third, Chaz Chadwick and David Bird swapping positions between fourth and fifth, Tim Cording and James Gunner sixth and seventh. Eighth place belongs to the 16 of Jeffrey Gerald, ninth Chelsea Carter, and Sebastian Galloway Jr. up into the top 10 for the first time today. Followed by Brandon Butler the second, Cannon Gage, and Eli the Wolf running in 13th. Bradley Ream and Gannon Bird, your top 15. 16th, Ralph Oberstadt. 17th, Al Bunch. 18th, Chris Jeremio. Ace Vaden, Mitchell Carter, Gabe McDuffie in his USA Trucks debut here today, running in 21st. Ryan White in 22nd. Wyatt Wilkinson, the Rosevich-Ross duo, alongside Chase Kovacic, Andre Stefan, Andrew Moger, Nate Newman, Skylar Taylor, Drew Clue, John Brinker, Alan Chavot, Jamie Horseman, Kyle Ottawa, Craig Bush, Chris Hergeson, Craig Popgris, Johnny Blaney, and Ryan Little. So both the Mountain Dew cars holding up the back end of the field here, which is kind of odd. Unique and odd at the same time. They must have missed the setup on the trucks here today. Yeah, this is definitely a throwback rivalry here where we've got Chaz Chadwick and Tim Cording holding up the top five, last two positions in the top five. Borat Sagdiev has only been in it for a couple races now. His stats, let's go ahead and look at the standing and see how he's done in his first couple starts. Dang, he's climbed all the way up to 22nd in the points already with only 2 starts to his name. So, given that, if he gets a win, all he's got to do is stay within the top 25 in points, and he'll be eligible for the chase. His first 2 starts of his career in the USA Trucks have been a 5th at Homestead and a 2nd at Watkins Glen. He's about to try and take second away from the number 9 here at Chicagoland, and we're not even halfway yet. Borat's making the jump to ARCA starting this week as well, so he's going to be doing double duty. USA Trucks East and ARCA. We'll see him in the ARCA series on Wednesday premiere on Thursday. Will Malcolm getting side by side with his teammate there. As many times we've seen here tonight, that should allow the rest of the field to get caught back up to him. But I'm still astonished with Borat Sagdiev's quick start here in the USA Trucks. All it's taken is 2 top 10 finishes to get him, actually 2 top 5 finishes, 5th and a 2nd, to climb the rankings like a madman. Well, since there's a break in the racing action here, we're going to go ahead and give you the Sigma side by side. But don't go anywhere, folks. You'll get to watch all the racing action right here. Well, you didn't miss a thing. You did get to see the 91 of Johnny Blaney with flat tire stalled on track. Sigma officials decided that there was no harm, and we didn't get no caution flag for it, so they keep on rolling. And green flag pit stops likely approaching here within the next 10 laps. Borat going on second place. Alan Malcolm there. They get side by side, but Alan Malcolm with the advantage, driving around him. This battle between the two veterans still very much up for grabs as Tim Cording and Chaz Chadwick hold up fourth and fifth. James Gunner, your points leader, in sixth, and then David Bird second in the points, running in seventh there. Chelsea Carter, Cannon Gage, and Sebastian Galloway Jr. continues to hold on to a solid top 10 run right now. This race is definitely going to come down to mileage strategy, I believe. Whoever gets the undercut might be able to get the advantage and come out on fresher tires, and it might be one of these three hopscotching the other. Or it could be one of them playing the game just right and driving away even further from the rest of them. So we'll just have to see when those pit stops fall. Anytime within the next 5 to 8 laps, I would say. They are sharing the spots there with some lap traffic. The 46 of Craig Popgris. Alan Malcolm gets the lead there briefly, but his teammate's going to charge around the outside. Alan Malcolm leads that lap. And it looks like Alan Malcolm's going to continue to lead here through turns 1 and 2. And it's taken him a while to get around his teammate. The 10 not given inches. But finally, Alan Malcolm closes the door. And now Borat looking to try and capitalize on the 10's misfortune there. Alrighty, we're starting to reach halfway. It's going to be lap 54 with 54 laps to go now. Anytime they decide to pit, they should be good to go to the finish. But of course, with NR, that's never a given. We've seen wild things get even wilder when pit strategy is involved. But they've officially made it past the halfway point and should be clear to make their last and one only pit stop here today. Alrighty, on lap 62, our first round of pit stops as Alex Sanvitale, one of the first leaders to come down. Alan Malcolm sticking around out front along with the 14 of Borat Sagdiev. They've caught up to some more lap traffic here, which might slow their pace a little bit, but the sooner they get down pit road, the better. Hopefully, this is not going to slow down their lap at all with the lap traffic holding them up on pit road here. This could definitely take just inches away from their advantages that they had before. Sometimes racing comes down to a game of inches, so here's hoping that they didn't get held up too much there. Looks like Chelsea Carter's going to be the one still staying out here. So everyone's going to be waiting for Chelsea to come down pit road. There she is. 16 as well on pit road of Jeffrey Gerald. And it looks like it might shuffle around to Tim Cording now. Is he going to beat the others that were holding out longer there? Nope. Borat and Alan Malcolm both beat Tim Cording out. But that advantage, as I was talking about, Alex Sanvitale has grown his lead substantially as the pit traffic really threw a curveball for them. We'll see if maybe they can get things back and rolling here. But it's going to be a long road ahead to catch number 10 truck there of Alex Sanvitale. 42 laps is a long ways to go no matter what, though. So can't count your eggs, can't count your chickens before the eggs have hatched. There's 3 lap down trucks separating lead to second place there. So that's a pretty substantial gap to the tune of about 3 seconds. James Gunner has stretched it out here. Where is the 32 of James Gunner? There he's back on track after making his pit stop, slotted into 11th. So new top 10 it looks like, as we've got Eli the Wolf, Al Bunch, Jeffrey Gerald, Chelsea Carter, and Sebastian Galloway Jr. all in the top 10. 5th place, Cannon Gage. 4th place, Tim Cording. 3rd place, Borat Sagdiev. Alan Malcolm with the leader, Alex Sanvitale. So we'll keep the camera here on Alex and see how long it takes for our other drivers to catch up. No, that lap traffic's very dense here for Alex Sanvitale, as he's doing a good job so far holding up the lead. But that deficit itself has started to shrink just a little bit, down to 2.23 seconds, the advantage over his teammate Alan Malcolm. Eventually, Alan Malcolm and Borat both are going to have to deal with the same lap traffic that Alex Sanvitale just worked his way through. And luckily for Alex Sanvitale, it looks like he's going to be clear of that lap traffic here now. It'll be up to his teammate and competitor behind him to do the same work. And just like that, with 25 laps to go, we're going to have a 3-dog fight here from Chicagoland. Alex Sanvitale has held the lead for so long, but now his teammates diving down on the inside to try and take the lead away. As long as these two race side by side, that's going to give Borat Sagdiev a chance to win this race as well. And there goes Borat down below the 9. Is he going to have the momentum, though, or is the 9 going to drive around the outside? With 22 laps to go, let's do another Sigma through the field. Get a running order on where everyone's at. Running in 4th, you've got Tim Cording. 5th, you've got his teammate there, the 5 of Cannon Gage. Sebastian Galloway Jr. early in his truck career. Already looking stout with another good run here today in 6th. 7th, you got Chaz Chadwick. Another KBM entry there in the 43 of Chelsea Carter. Al Bunch in 9th. And then your points leader, James Gunner, running in 10th. 11th, it's Gannon Bird, Bradley Ream, David Bird, Eli the Wolf, and Mitchell Carter rounding out the top 15. Brandon Butler the 2nd. Ralph Oberstadt, Chris Jeremio, Gabe McDuffie, and Ace Vaden rounding out your top 20. Ryan White, Andrew Moger, Chase Kovacic, Wyatt Wilkinson, and Jakov Rosovich, your top 25. Jack Ross, Andre Stefan, Drew Clue, Skylar Taylor, and we're back to your leaders as Borat Sagdiev and Alan Malcolm both got by the 10 of Alex Sanvitale there. 19 laps remain. Alan Malcolm, your leader. Could we be in for a surprise here today? The Cup Chicagoland race was a bit of a surprise as we had another first-time winner. As many first-time winners we've seen this year, it's been a great year to be a newcomer, as you've had so many opportunities to win, and it's paid off on so many occasions. In that last race was Carson Bowers, who ended up winning the Chicago Times 460 in the Cup side of things. Alan Malcolm would not be a first-time winner, but Borat Sagdiev there in 2nd could become a first-time winner today at Chicagoland, and we would start looking at trends with Chicagoland in general. As Bridge to Cup, the Chicagoland race is not part of their calendar. Surprisingly enough. I didn't realize that. I'd skipped over Chicagoland and Bridge to Cup. So we've got the exclusive rights here for Chicagoland on USA Truck side and Cup, because ARCA skips over Chicagoland as well. So it's a great track. We get some great racing here. And I wouldn't be against finding a way to work it onto the calendar for the other series that are missing it. Borat got stuck behind some lap traffic, and that allowed the 10 of Alex Sanvitale to get back around him. Alan Malcolm starting to stretch it out here a little bit. Borat's going to follow the 10, try to get through the lap traffic a little quicker here. With right at about 14 laps to go, it's going to be Alan Malcolm having to hold off his teammate and potentially Borat Sagdiev. As they get around the lap traffic, now they've got their sights set on the lead again. Top three are very, very close in lap times to each other. The 9 this lap just turned a 30.44. Alex Sanvitale just turned a 30.21. And Borat turned a 30.41. So Alex is putting in the heater laps right now, trying to get qualifying laps in with 12 laps to go to catch his teammate there. No cautions here today. Everything's gone pretty calm, cool, and calculated. Still, Alex was faster that lap. Alan Malcolm going to have to hold off his teammate here with 10 laps to go. So much a reoccurring trend here this year, seeing the TV duo dominate the front of the field. Pretty much they've dominantly did so for the entire season so far. Apart from Daytona, the first race of the season where they were nowhere to be seen. Atlanta, they finished first and third. Dover, they finished first and second. Nashville, they finished first and second. Homestead, they got separated. While Alan Malcolm won the race, Alex Sanvitale ended up finishing 37th. And then Watkins Glen was ugly, as neither of them finished top 5, nor a top 10 out of them, as Watkins Glen saw them struggle. Alex Sanvitale qualified pole but finished 33rd. Alan Malcolm, on the other hand, finished 35th. Borat starting to lose ground with the leaders here as they're stretching it out. Craig Popkris, a lap truck in the way, might hold up their pace a little bit. This could be a good sign for Borat to catch back up. And not looking like it'll be his lucky day there as the 9 and the 10 both blow by the 46. So the pace is just dropped off there for Borat. He's unfortunately not looking to have a shot left in the chamber here to fight for the win. Still 7 laps though. A lot could happen in those 7 laps. As long as he can get by the lap truck rapidly here, there is more lap traffic that could hold up our leaders. And it looks like Borat's going to make quick work of the 46, and he's going to get chop blocked there. That's going to slow him way down. That was not what Borat wanted, as it's likely going to keep him from catching the pace of our leaders. He had a lap comparable to the leader that last lap, but this is going to drop him about probably half a second out of the realm of the lead. Yeah, 1.5 to 2 seconds now back. Borat's probably hoping that there may be a late race caution here that could save him at least for a restart to try and fight for it. There we go. Alan Malcolm's going to catch lap traffic here in a very precarious position. They're not driving near as slow as the other truck that they got by, so this could definitely spoil the party a little bit. Oh, Alex Sanvitale is going to push it 3 wide on the inside here, using the lap truck to his advantage. Not going to get it, though, as Alan Malcolm blows back by him. Three laps to go, and it's Alan Malcolm's to lose right now. Still more people going down pit road late in this race, which is kind of surprising. And I figured that they would be good to go all the way to the finish, and you're seeing a couple takers down pit road. No mechanical failures really to speak of, other than the 16 having an engine failure. And it looks like Jeffrey Gerald out of the race in 40th with that piston. Dropping a piston here. Well, it's lap 108 of 108. Next, it's white flag. That means this ends it all. And it's going to be Alan Malcolm getting his 4th win on the season. Wow, what a dominant season so far for Alan Malcolm. Coming home second, it is Alex Sanvitale, Borat Sagdiev, Tim Cording, Chaz Chadwick. James Gunner should be able to maintain his points lead. Then you had Gannon Bird, Chelsea Carter, Brandon Butler the second, and the number 8 of Mitchell Carter. No relation between Chelsea and Mitchell. Just a happy coincidence there that we've got 2 Carters on the series. But Borat, man, he's going to be climbing that point standings fiercely. He might be in the top 15 in points already. And just shy of a win to get him in. Very unusual. We don't see a newcomer that stout out of the gate, and yet Borat Sagdiev has been impressive to start this campaign here in the USA Trucks. 3 finishes, 3 top 5s. That's a tough stat to topple. Well, folks, that is a wrap here today for the USA Trucks Nuclear 162 from Chicagoland. Congratulations to Trevor Ventures on yet another 1-2 finish this season. and Alan Malcolm trying to claw his way back up to the points lead. Of course, later today we will have the Bridge to Cup race from Kansas with the Clint Boyers Money 240. And it should be a good one. Willow Blake tied for the points lead after she got her win from Texas. Kansas should be interesting. She's got a chance to full right take the lead away from Carson Bowers. And so it'll be interesting. Hopefully, we have a great race from Kansas here later today. But until then, hopefully all have a great day. Stay safe out there. And until next time, this is Jakester signing out.